Hey guys, Scott the Shade Tree Gardener here. I wasn't planning on putting out an updated video today, but I decided since I replaced some of my tomatoes and added some more peppers that I would just go ahead and put out another updated video. It'll probably be a while when there's really something to notice going on than when I put out another one. But as I said, I replaced some tomatoes. I replaced some, didn't replace peppers. I added some peppers. So I thought I would just throw out another quick uh, video for everybody to see. And sorry that my eyes might be wandering everywhere. It's weird when you're using a cell phone because where the camera's located and where you want to look, they're two totally different places. So I'm not crazy. I'm just confused. So here it is. I hope you enjoy. If you like what you see, click the like down there. If you have any advice, add it into the comments, please. This is my first year doing a garden, especially to this size. As a kid, I used to help my dad, if you can call that help. I probably got in the way more than anything else. But subscribe to the page, like it if you like it. I mean, um, it, it it can only help me, especially if you comment. You can tell me uh, maybe something I'm doing wrong. Um, Hopefully, I'm not on a cell phone all the time, although the editing is so freaking easy when you're on a cell phone. But I definitely want to upgrade to something better. And then after this, I really need to get back to my woodworking. That I I need to get back to doing that, and hopefully, I can get some videos made for some of the cutting boards that I'm making. I've got some making for the Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. They're gonna raffle those off so they can raise some money for their organization. I have some that I'm working on for a friend who's a realtor, and then I have one that my cousin asked for, and I got to get that done. And then a guy I work with, he wanted one. You remember, um, and if you have an older house, you might still have this. The cutting boards that used to be able to slide out of the counter, those were absolutely genius because your cutting board was always right there. You didn't have to put it away. You could just pull it out, cut it. He needs one remade, so I got to get that done as well. I got to get a bookcase done for my father. He asked for that quite a while ago, so I'm plenty busy. So enjoy this video. Hopefully, I get something out there woodworking. Um, more gardening stuff as my flower garden grows. It's not that big. I'll update on that too because I added sunflower this morning and then I added some other flowers just to fill in the gaps. Some snapdragons to fill in some of the gaps. So let's get on with the video. So one thing that I decided to add was the Mountain Fresh tomato. It looks like a nice bright red tomato. Thought I'd give some a try. And then I got this. I saw this growing and I said, you know what? It's got fruit on it already. This is a sweetie pie pepper. Um, I think it's just a sweet pepper. I don't think there's really much spice to it. I'm going to find out. We got one growing here. We have another one growing right here as well. And I said, you know what? That's coming along pretty good. There's another one down here starting. Another one up here starting. And I says, man, I can't pass up on that. There's a lot of them starting on there. Another one I got is this 4th of July pepper, or tomato. Um, they call it that because you're supposed to have your first tomatoes off of it by the 4th of July. I did end up transplanted the pepper that was in here. We'll see how that does. This pepper wasn't doing too good, so I just got rid of that one. And then the other tomato plant back there, I decided that was a Wisconsin 55. It really wasn't doing very good. I got rid of that. Back here is a Wisconsin 55, and so is that. And those are the ones that I planted myself. So I don't want to just take them out even if they don't look all that good. I've got to cut some suckers off of it. I have to see how they do. I even added this Foolju pepper right here. It it's basically a jalapeno with flavor and no spice. We'll see how that does. That's one of my original peppers. Again, I don't know how well it's going to do. I added calcium and magnesium to the plants today, so hopefully they take off. And that's Blake that you're hearing screaming over there. See him? He wants to come down. So I'm going to come back in a minute so I can get him back down off the deck. So I got another pepper plant, my garden salsa. The ones that are coming up are hot banana peppers. I didn't start these, I bought these at the store. But back here we actually have one that's flowering. And let me focus in right there. I took the advice of M.I. Gardener. He's got an awesome YouTube page all about gardening. Peppers and tomatoes are asexual plants. They don't pollinate like your other plants. They have a female component and a male component. And he says if you go through and just tap them for about 5 seconds or so, you're going to knock that pollen from the female down to the female. And it's going to take you from about a 40% fruiting to almost 100% if you do this on all your plants. Take the time. So we're going to try that. This is another garden salsa, and this one's actually starting to flower out. By the way, if you're going to go around, you're going to tap your flowers like that. You're not going to hurt them, because the only thing that's going to really get them to go is if a bug's on them, or maybe a high wind to get them going around. But tapping them or bugs work the best, but they're only going to work if they're open. If you have the closed like this, it's not going to do anything. They have to be open. There are people out there who might have said, I told you so. Starting your own, it's not easy to start your own plants from a seed indoors, transplant them out. These are my mortgage lifter tomatoes that I started. I planted them. They were probably half this size when I started these. So I'm not going to not do something because somebody says it's hard to do. It takes a lot of time. It really didn't take any time at all. You go down when you plant them, that part takes a little bit of time. And you keep them watered. It costs money because you've got to buy the lighting. I had to buy a table, which it's a card table. I'll use it for other stuff. This is one of my peppers I started. Some of these may not go. That's okay. I've got a lot of plants. I'm going to go through. I'm going to get some of these suckers off there. I can do that later on today. But other than that, look at these. These are my cherry tomatoes. These were really small when I started. They were probably less than half the size. I think they're doing really well. Some of them have to be tied up to the stake. I can do that right now. I've got that right here. The only ones that I'm a little concerned about, and they're actually doing really good too, and I wouldn't say really good, but they're doing good. I was just at the garden center. I saw some Wisconsin 55s. They look similar to these. Theirs are a little bigger, but the garden center has something that I'm not. They're professionals. They know when to plant. They know how to take care of this stuff, and this is something that I'm going to learn as I go. As I said, I took out one Wisconsin 55 and I put in this Mountain Fresh. I put one in, I replaced one. I want to be guaranteed something if something doesn't turn out. So today is June 9th, I believe. Yeah, June 9th. If you went back to my last week's video, you would see the difference. Next, we're going to go to the other raised bed, and that one's doing excellent. I kept the birds out of it, but my broccoli, Brussels sprouts, them are doing really good. I've got Brussels sprouts both in here and in a pot, and we'll go look at the 5-gallon broccoli next, and then we'll go to the other garden. All right, so this is my other 5-gallon bucket. Brussels sprouts. These things have grown. I put these in Memorial Weekend, and they've gotten probably 2 to 3 times bigger in size. We're going to have a lot of those hopefully for the freezer this winter, and I'm the only one who's probably going to eat them. I got my Yukon Gold that I put in Memorial Weekend. They're starting to finally come up through the soil. And I'll show you when I go to my other potatoes the difference that 2 weeks planting makes. Because I put these in on Memorial Weekend. The other ones I put in May 20th. And the other ones are huge. And this is the cucumber. These are the cucumbers. These are really grown since Memorial Weekend as well. And I'm telling you, I'm loving this container garden because they all seem to be doing really good, and I wasn't sure what to expect. And I know things can change between now and, you know, it's going to be the first, second, third frost before I take off the Brussels sprouts. Things can change by then. We'll see. Potatoes, I think we're going to do really good, and hopefully the cucumbers as well. Here's what I mean by the containers doing so well. These peppers are the same pepper plants that I planted that are in the raised garden. They're the same ones. They're so much bigger. And I don't know why that is. Maybe they get better nutrients. Maybe there's nothing to steal the nutrients when they're in a pot compared to sharing a garden with something else. But I really like the container gardening aspect. And right here is the one that I transplanted. I transplanted this one. It doesn't look that good. This is one that came out of the raised beds, okay? This came from the raised beds. These went straight to the pots. And just look at the size difference. They're 3 times bigger. So we'll see how that one does. Maybe my theory's right. Maybe I'm better off. And I had a friend tell me this morning that he moved all of his tomatoes to a pot. And we're just going to see how better they do. My onions, them are in their own pot. My red onions, my table onions, they are, these are the evergreen brunching. We'll get you a little better look, maybe. I had to put that net on there because the birds were getting into them. Since I put that chicken wire on there, they've really taken off. And then here are 2 weeks before the other potatoes. I added dirt to these yesterday. I added about 2 inches of dirt to these yesterday. Just look at how good they're doing. 2 weeks. And that's okay because when I take these up, maybe 2-3 weeks later, I'll have another crop. I'll have another fresh crop of them. So I have Kennebec Whites over here. Lexi, watch out. And then I have Yukon Gold in that one there. And then look at the lettuce and the spinaches. We're going to be having fresh salad maybe tomorrow night. We're going to go get fresh strawberries tomorrow. We can have a good strawberry salad. And these are some spinaches. These do take a little longer. I'm kind of surprised about my celery. It said that it prefers an acidic soil, but they seem to be doing really good. And then the carrots took off, and then I got some more spinaches, salad, lettuces right on the end there. We did lose one due to the birds, but that is today's update. Maybe I'll update again when I end up cutting some of this lettuce down here. Hopefully we get a lot of crops this year out of it. I know I could have planted these a lot closer together. Again, this is my first year doing this. These plants could be touching, all of them. I could have done literally twice, maybe more of the of these lettuces, and that may have been too much for just the 2 of us who eat it. So, but I could have done other things in here too. I could have moved all this together and planted something else, and it's all going to be taken note for next year in the spring when I do this again. Even in the winter, I plan on doing a low tunnel for winter growing. Yes, you can grow lettuce and spinach year round, and there are a few other things too that I need to learn about. But the other garden over there is probably going to be my tunnel that I do, because it's going to get so much more sunlight. Back here, this doesn't get much sunlight in the wintertime. The sun is just way too low in the sky, and I've got a shed behind me that blocks it out. So again, I will see you on the next video.